What's up, guys? Welcome back to the FNG Academy. Buck here from Green Beret, here to help you guys get selected. Alright guys, in this video, we are going to talk about how to become Special Forces. But I'm not just going to talk about like the order. Like, oh, first you go to selection, then you go to the Q course. And it's just that easy. And just like that, get your Green Beret and everything is awesome. I'm going to break it down in 4 phases. So the phases that you're going to be in are important to understand so you know which phase you're at, you know which, like, where you're at mentally, what to expect, and the challenges that you're going to have to come for each, the challenges that you're going to have to overcome for each phase. So I just think it's super important to discuss those phases so you know where you're at in that phase and you could approach those challenges directly and not be worried about other phases and then have those things get in your head and then you end up failing or quitting because you were, overwhelmed by stuff that you shouldn't even be thinking about yet. So we're going to break down those phases in this video. But before we do, if you get any value out of these videos or this channel, please do me a favor, hit the like, subscribe, and the bell notification button. And let's try to get 1,000 likes on this video. It helps a lot, guys. I really appreciate it. Just so you guys know, June 4th, we are doing a seminar in North Houston. So if you want to talk about Special Forces, if your goal is to become a Green Beret, or you just want to meet the team, get your book signed, we will be doing a seminar. It'll be 3 Green Berets and myself, and we will be there to give you guys all the coaching, leadership, teamwork, everything that you need to increase your chances to get selected. So come meet the team June 4th, North Houston. Sign up at shop.fngacademy.com. Or go to the FNGacademy.com and just hit the shop button and you will see where it's at. All right, guys. And if you want to be Special Forces, everybody knows that you have to be in shape. So this video is sponsored by someone that I think will help get you there better than most. Kevin over at 18 Alpha Fitness. So go check out Kevin over at 18 Alpha Fitness. Use code word BUCK so you are in shape and ready to go to selection and you knock it out the first time. All right, so let's talk about how to become Special Forces. So I wanted to break it up for you guys into phases because each phase has its own challenges, its own mental roadblocks, and its own physical roadblocks. And a lot of times people don't think about that. They don't realize that they're entering into a phase that they didn't, weren't aware of, and they weren't aware of the challenges that come with that phase, and they get blindsided by those challenges. So that's why I kind of wanted to break it down. So phase 1, the decision. This phase is so important. It's so valuable. It's such a big deal that people don't even realize it. So what do you have to worry about in the decision phase? The decision phase is all about your decision to go Special Forces. Now you have a lot to think about in this decision phase. 1, how committed are you to becoming Green Beret? 2, are you just worried about the clout that comes with Green Beret, being a Green Beret? Are you just trying to get the recognition? What is your driving force? What is your why? What is going to empower you when things get difficult? Those are all things that you should have worked out in the decision phase. During that phase, you should be really hammering home why you want to be a Green Beret. What is it about that job that is pulling you in, and why do you want it so bad? And are you committed to actually getting it, or do you just want the clout and you want to give it a shot so you have some stories to tell later on? Those are things that you need to be thinking about. Another big one in the decision phase is the haters. Guys, everyone's going to have to deal with this, especially women. If you're going Special Forces, you are leading that front. There's not a lot of women that have made it, so you're paving that path as women. So you have to understand that every time you make that decision, that first phase is going to be filled with doubters and haters. So you have to be ready for that. And that's the thing I think a lot of people aren't ready for. They think, oh, I'm going to try this really hard thing and everyone's going to support me because they didn't try it, or they did try it and they failed, or weren't willing. They're too scared, but they're going to support me because it's this really hard thing and I'm going to go give it a shot. And sometimes that's true, but almost always you're going to have people that doubt you and that hate on you, and they're going to try and push you down and deter you from doing that. For a lot of reasons, most of which is their own insecurities, the fact that they either failed, and if you succeed, that makes them feel bad about themselves, or they were afraid to try. And if you try, it makes them feel bad about themselves. Or they just have ill will towards you and they don't want to see you succeed because they don't like you and they don't want good things to come to you. So you're going to deal with all those people. So understand in the decision phase, you need to be focused on your why and make sure that why is very, very strong. Also, you need to be ready for the haters and the doubters so you can combat them with your why. So as soon as a hater comes up and goes, oh, nobody ever makes it, or, oh, you think you could do it because you're a woman, like, okay, only if they lower the standards, and start talking all their mess, you're going to have a strong why that's going to push you through dealing with that mess, and you're going to be able to use that as a shield to deflect all their nonsense because they're too afraid to go do their thing. All right, then the next phase, once you get through that, is the preparation phase. So that's when your preparation is going to actually begin. You figured out your why, you're ignoring your haters, you know that they're coming, so you're not even bothered when they start saying that you can't make it. That's awesome. If that's the phase you're in, focus on that and get signed up. Once you're all signed up, you've blocked out the haters, you have your date set to go to selection, now you're in your preparation phase. This is the part where you need to understand how to train so you are ready. You can't just be in good shape. There's multiple aspects of being a Green Beret that's going to be demanded of you physically and mentally. So part of that physical aspect is you're going to have to be a good rucker. You're going to have to be good with a ruck on your back. So you have to have a training plan based on getting better at rucking. You also need to be a good runner. So you're going to have a training plan focused on helping you become a better runner. So all these things you have to dive into. You are going to need to be physically strong as far as having good grip strength and good cardio. So your physical strength is another area of preparation that you're going to have to do. You're going to have to know things like how to tie knots is beneficial, how to land nav is beneficial, all those things. So understanding how to prepare is vital, and that's your phase 2. So when you're in phase 2, that's why we recommend Kevin so hard. But whatever programming you pick, you need to find good programming. But I like to recommend a Green Beret because he knows that you can't just be fit. I don't care if you have a six-pack. I don't care if you look shredded and you're big and yoked up. If you can't carry a ruck on your back, drop that ruck and then go run a 2-mile or a 5-mile run fast. You're not going to make it. Those muscles are no good to you. So understand that preparation is key, and how you prepare is going to be vital. Then you have your third phase of the 4 phases, and that is selection itself. Once you've prepared, and this is why it's so important to understand this, is you have to block out selection. You have to block out the Q course when you're in preparation phase, when you're in sign-up phase. You need to focus on the phases that you're in. Once you get to selection, you're now in the selection phase. It's the most important part. And I'm telling you, of the whole process, selection phase is the most important part. Why? Because in selection, you're dealing with the most mental scrutiny of, are you good enough? Should you even be here? They haven't even said you're good enough once yet. They haven't even once said you have potential. They've never given you an inkling of positive feedback. So it's all in your head, and this is probably the toughest for most people to deal with. So when you're in selection phase, you need to, what cadre like to say is, don't self-select. Let us select. Let us tell you what's up. You don't know shit. So don't assume that you're not good enough. Don't assume that you're too far behind, or you're not smart enough, or you didn't tie enough knots, or you're not a team player. So when you're in selection phase, understand that you have to stay out of your own head and focus on the task at hand. Don't worry about the Q course. Don't worry about preparation. Don't worry about your decision. All those things are out the window. Selection phase is task at hand. And that's all you need to worry about, and keep going. You're either going to go home from selection phase proud or disappointed. And that is not because you got selected or didn't get selected. It's because you either gave it 100% and didn't quit, or you gave up on yourself and you let your mind get the best of you, and you're going to be disappointed. Injuries happen. I've been there. I didn't make it through RASP because I got an injury. But you know what? I gave RASP everything I had. I left unable physically to go any further. I finished the ruck on that busted ankle. I could not move any further. So I don't have to feel disappointment in myself because I gave it everything I had. It didn't depend on whether or not I got a tan beret or not, right? So that is why selection is its own phase, and in my opinion, the hardest phase. Then the last phase is the Q course. Now here's the deal with the Q course. This is the awesome part of it. You've already been told that you have potential. Now you're in the Q course. Now it's your spot to lose. They've already said you have potential. All you have to do is meet that potential. So it's up to you in the Q course to show up on time, right uniform, early. On time means early. Right place, right time, right uniform, and perform at your best of your ability at all times. That's on you. The cadre is no longer standing there saying, are you good enough? Are you good enough? We've already established that you have what it takes if you can handle, the pressure of the academics and the physical aspect of it. You could do that. You've already proven it in SFAS. It's only up to you as to whether or not you're that person or if you faked it for 3 weeks. If you just faked it for 3 weeks, doing it for a year and a half becomes extremely difficult. Suddenly you show up late, or you come in light on a ruck. Your ruck doesn't weigh what they told you. All of a sudden your little deficiencies start to show through because you just faked it for 3 weeks. That's what the Q course is all about. But the mind game is a lot less in the Q course. You're with a bunch of people who were already selected, and you guys are going to bust your ass to get through this phase. So the fourth phase is all about consistency. That's it, consistency. You've proven that you have what it takes in selection. Now you have to prove that you can be that person consistently, perform consistently, show up on time, all that stuff. It's about being consistent and always showing up to do your best and to give your all. And trust me, a year and a half is a long time to be peak performance. It means not, running when you have the flu, being there sick, being injured and pushing through it. A lot of these things are going to happen in a year and a half, and it's going to determine your character, your drive, and all that stuff is going to show because you have to do it so consistently for so long. So, all right, guys, I hope that helps. Breaking up into the 4, how to become a Green Beret, the 4 processes, the 4 mindsets, the 4 phases of it. If you understand those phases, my goal here telling you this is that you understand which one, to tackle, which things to focus on, and how to ignore the other phases. If you're in the decision phase, you should not even be thinking about the Q course. You should be thinking about the things I told you in the decision phase. Don't even think about selection yet. Just focus on your decision, making it a good, solid, strong decision, and then setting your date. And then once your date is set to go to selection, now you're in the preparation phase. So follow those phases as strict guidelines, focus on the challenges that come with each phase, and you will do great. You will do so much better because unlike a lot of people who are focused on the future and becoming overwhelmed with tomorrow and the next day and the day after that, you could be focusing on the task at hand. So, all right, guys, I hope that video helps. And I hope you like that 20-mile ruck video we did. There's going to be so much more of that. I decided I'm tired of sitting at a desk always talking. I'm going to keep doing the desk because it's important. It's a great way to get information to you guys, but I need to start getting out there and showing you all these things. So I'm going to do water crossings. I'm going to do long ruck marches. I'm going to do ruck running. And I'm going to teach you and show you guys all that stuff. So if you want to become SF or you just want to improve, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hang out, go check out our shop. Shop.fngacademy.com. We have the mentorship program dropping soon, and hopefully we'll see you at the seminar June 4th. Talk to you guys next time.